It's a beautiful afternoon in Clearwater, Florida, as we get set for our second elimination game of the day, with the UConn Huskies already winning over the Memphis Tigers. They are set in their semifinal game with Houston, but ECU awaits the winner of this ball game, a big rivalry down here on I-4. It's USF and UCF. I'm Jeff Private alongside Garrett Wolverd from Spectrum Field in Clearwater. And Garrett, should be a fun one today. We have the rivalry game on Elimination Day. It's a series in which USF won, but UCF got the big one to knock them out of a potential championship the last day of the season.
The mirror opponents for each other and natural rivals, separated by about 70 miles in that regular season series. 4 of 6 went to USF, but the important ones at the end of the year went to UCF, including the 3-2 victory in the final regular season game of the year that made the Knights champions of the league.
Let's take a look at the UCF Knights, who came back yesterday and won elimination game. And let's take a look at the sophomore left fielder, Kyle Marsh.
He's one of the top hitters in the Americans, second on this team in average and RBIs. He leads them in doubles, had a home run in his last game. UCF hits over 290 as a team, and as we've talked about before, they are speedy on the base paths. If they get on, they are going to exploit advantages and try and score runs.
For the USF Bulls, are led by a senior, a big veteran in their senior DH, Luke Borders.
6'3", 210 pounds, out of the Winter Haven area. He's been good in this tournament as well. A couple of big hits. He's got 3 RBIs, all in the last game. He's been walked 3 times as well, so the on-base percentage is good. USF had a win in their grasp. They were headed to the semifinals. ECU had other plans.
For a 7th time this season, it's going to be the Bulls and the Knights here from Clearwater, Florida, again on a sunny and warm Friday afternoon. We've had a breezy and a cool tournament so far, but it is hot, a little humid. Still have that wind blowing out to right here on a beautiful afternoon as the Bulls have taken the field. They will be the home team in this elimination game between their rival, the UCF Knights. And again, the winner going to go on and face the 8 seed East Carolina Pirates tomorrow. That's a look at what UCF's going to send to the plate to start things off, led by Luke Hamlin and Eli Putnam.
Top of the order, very dangerous for UCF. Bozeman and Marsh, who we touched on, both have had good tournaments so far. Ryland Thomas, an incredible player for the Knights. Gellinger, very solid at third. Matthew Micah, Ryan Kreil, and Logan Heiser round out the 7, 8, 9 of their lineup.
And there is a look at the starting pitcher for USF, Peter Strzelecki.
Strzelecki went high with 9 innings at UConn. He's a starter for them. He's been very effective this season. 3-3 on the year. The ERA is sub 2.5. He's got a couple of appearances against UCF. He'll have to take that knowledge and apply it today in a game where you don't want to go home.
We are underway with a ball to Luke Hamlin. Hamlin, 305, a home run, 34 driven in for the senior center fielder. Both teams going with the alternate tops today. UCF from the black and gold, and the Bulls and their green tops and that kind of neon gold on the numbers. See the bats get going in this ball game between these two ball clubs. Earlier today in the UConn-Memphis game, our first game of no home runs so far this week.
First 3 games of the season, the mirror opponent matchup. USF won all 3, but it was an 18-14 score. Very close series. Couple of games. One went extra innings that USF won, 5-4 on April 7th.
Hitters count here for Luke Hamlin, 13 doubles and 3 triples. But on base, they're dangerous. And again, we talked about their speed. He has 19 stolen bases.
And at the end of the year, May 18th, 19th, and 20th, USF won in Orlando in extra innings, 7-4 in the game 1. But then UCF poured it on in game 2, 9-1, and held on for the 1-run win to get the championship, 3-2.
How bunched up they were at the top. That been a first to a 4th seed in this tournament. Separated by just a game. That one is just going to be on the outside, so a lead-off walk. As we take a look at the defense here for the USF Bulls. They're solid this year, 977 fielding average, 48 errors. Merrill and Montez up the middle. Villar at third, Stunkel at first. In the outfield, Chatfield, Zach, Montgomery from left to right, and the battery, Strzelecki and Dietrich. Fastest team in the league, Luke Hamlin, 19 stolen bases. One of 3 in the order with double-digit steals. They've got 2 more in Bozeman and Thomas that have 9 stolen bases. Everyone in the order for UCF has a stolen base today. That'll keep Dietrich busy behind the plate. Pitchers are going to have to control the run game for the Bulls. Dietrich's thrown 13 out of 46, so he's not bad behind the plate. Quickly 0-2, looking for a double play. Popped him up out of play over to the right side. Fans here, they're used to this Florida heat, but they're also very smart about it. Majority of our fans finding the shade here at Spectrum Field. Kind of like when you talk to someone from the north about the cold, thought you were used to it, and they say no, but we've been around it long enough, we're smart enough to wear a heavier coat. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout.
Haven't you seen snow before? This is not a big deal.
Right. One away here for Brennan Bozeman, the shortstop. 261 homer, 21 driven in.
Bozeman reached base twice in the game against Tulane. He was hit by a pitch and walked. Finished 0 for 3 on the night.
Right, called on the outside. Both of these teams got here in much different ways. UCF kind of took it on the chin. They did take it on the chin. 14-3 to ECU. They came back yesterday and knocked off the Green Wave 8-3. Meanwhile, USF back and forth till with Tulane on day 1, and then seemingly had the semis in the palm of their hands. Here goes the runner, the throw, and they got him. And that's the 14th Dietrich has thrown out this year. 2-4 caught stealing for the second out of the inning.
Hamlin caught for just the second time this year, and how quick was the throw on a hop? It still got there in plenty of time to get the tag down.
Good tag by Montez, and he was waiting for Hamlin to roll in. 0-2, and that's a big play right there. What I was going into, talking about USF had the game seemingly in the palm of their hand, but East Carolina with 3 runs at the bottom of the night. How they rebound after kind of that big momentum swing. Big throw at that time by Dietrich. Gets a lot of energy into that dugout. Popped it up right side. Montez hauls it in to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We played a half inning. There's no score from Clearwater, Florida on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
No score. We go to the bottom of the first inning here in Clearwater at beautiful Spectrum Field between the UCF Knights and the USF Bulls. Take a look at the lineups today for the USF Bulls, and they got a pretty good lineup here. They can hit up and down the order a little pop as they have 5 players with double-digit doubles to start out the order in Merrill, Stunkel, Borders, Villar, and Montez.
USF hitting .291 as a team. As Jeff said, 106 doubles on the year, almost a home run per game for the Bulls. And now Coach Kingston talking with the home plate umpire right now, maybe just clarifying something.
Here's a look at Chris Williams. He's been solid this year for Greg Lovelady.
Williams is making his 11th start. He's 2.73 with ERA, 4-3 on the year. In 66 innings pitched, he's given up 54 hits, 27 runs, only 20 were earned, and he struck out 39. Opponents are hitting .223 against the right-hander, Chris Williams, a sophomore.
So again, it's going to be Merrill, Stunkel, and Borders due up here in the inning. And no clouds of the sky here. A little breeze blowing out to right field. Just a very nice day. A lot of towels around the heads of these players in the dugouts as well, trying to keep that direct sunlight off their head.
UCF 39-19 coming into today. 20 games over 500. USF, the only team in the conference with 40 or more wins. They sit at 41-16. Most team wins since '96.
Down and away. UCF can grab the win, and then Houston continues to win. You'll get 3 40-win teams out of the American headed into the NCAA regionals. 1-0, and again, 6 of the 8 will finish at or above 500 this season overall. The 1-0. Strike call on the low outside corner. UConn's win, Garrett, pretty big today. I think they were still saving the NCAA, but never hurts to grab a second win in the tournament because they didn't get their full 56 games in. So, you know, at first glance, you look at 32 or 33 wins, you think that's a little low, and they only play 54 or so in the regular season because of the weather.
They're also road warriors. I mean, this is a team that's picked up a lot of wins on the road, and the committee certainly puts a lot of value towards that. So I agree with you. I like their position going into the postseason.
2-1. Well, again, we get that one semifinal set tomorrow at 10 Eastern, Houston and UConn, and then East Carolina waiting for the winner of this game at approximately 1 o'clock. Merrill with 28 walks, 28 strikeouts. Popped it up into shallow center field. Hamlin jogs in to make the catch. There's one away. Taking a look at this UCF defense, it'll be Thomas at first, Mike at second. Bozeman at short, Gallagher at third in the outfield. Marsh, Hamlin, Putnam. Williams to the mound, Heiser behind the plate, 971, 64 errors on the season for UCF.
Chris Williams certainly had a nice performance against the Bulls just a week ago. 7 innings pitched in the start, scattered 3 hits, no runs, struck out 6, and his team blasted USF 9-1. 9 runs on 17 hits.
Duke Stunkel, 339, a home run, 21 driven in. Fouls it off to the left side. Quickly down 0-1 to the count. Stunkel again. Been solid this year at 339. His 52nd game, 47th start.
Had a big RBI on a double into the left field corner in the 6th inning last night.
0-1 fouled off, left side out of play. Wasn't it Stunkel playing outfield the other day against Tulane? Crashed in that center field wall.
Highlight reel play. And that was tweeted out all over the American Digital Network. That was wonderful.
Lex Kaplan for Tulane in their game yesterday had a great play. The Tulane left fielder. Similar to Stunkel. Here's the 0-2. Up and out now, 1-2 count. Nobody on, 1 down here, bottom of the first. After the Knights went scoreless in the first, had the leadoff walk. But a caught stealing would accelerate that inning. Now 2-2 here on Duke Stunkel Jr. Here we go, 54 games, 53 starts. 43 at first, 10 in the outfield. Hit .260 with a pair of homers, 21 driven in. Wind up by Williams. Off speed will just miss at the knees. Heiser trying to frame it. So they'll run the count full here on Stunkel. Wind up by Williams. Swing and a tip ball in and out of the mitt of Heiser, so Stunkel stays alive.
Williams, a redshirt sophomore up on the hill, just 5'10", but 175 power-packed pounds out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Just a quick word with Williams. Luke Borders, the ever-dangerous Luke Borders, the experienced bat in the lineup. The lone senior in the lineup today, waiting on deck. So Mark Kingston has to be happy. Has a 41-win team with just one senior in the lineup. Excited already about next year, but trying to finish this season out really strong. 3-2 full count. The right-hander comes in, and he'll miss. One out walk issue to Stunkel. That'll be his 28th of the season. And for Williams, just the 17th he's issued. So just like UCF, they've got a runner on with and out again last inning. In the top of the inning, Hamlin was thrown out trying to steal. Heiser behind the plate, thrown out 4 of 25. Meanwhile, Stunkel has stolen 3 bases. Borders will take a strike on the outside. Williams to the plate. That one is a rip foul over to the UCF dugout. Came in on him and he turned on it. Harry Greer, our home plate umpire, needing some new baseballs. Brandon Cooper at first, Matt Nader at second, David Condon, our third base umpire this afternoon. Another long look from Williams. Up and out of the waste pitch.
Very deliberate up there on the hill. Takes his time. Gets what he wants from Logan Heiser. It seemed like the first innings of the game prior just flew by.
Right.
With Crosby up on the hill working quick, working from the stretch.
1-2 and a foul ball. You have between Montgomery and Crosby in the first game. The first five innings were done in about an hour 15. Then the runs started coming. And then a few errors here and there and some freebies slowed the thing down. And it being a pretty good game. Thought Chris Carrier at the end when he threw the runner out of the plate. And all of a sudden he comes back to the plate. How big could that out have been? But UConn able to survive it when it's 7-5. So Jim Pender's back in the semifinals. One, two, and he popped him up left side at the infield. Gallagher will call for it and make the catch, and there's 2 down. David Villar, the sophomore, 302 with 7 home runs and 44 driven in. And then, of course, Russell's outing, season high 3 1/3, outstanding for Jim Penders.
Villar yesterday just 1 hit in 5 at-bats. He had a single in the 5th, struck out 3 times. You think about it, these guys were here 18 hours ago playing a baseball game.
Yeah, USF went late. 3-hour, 41-minute game with ECU yesterday. Line drive to center field. That's going to be right to Hamlin, who goes down on the knee to make the catch. That'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. We played a full inning here in the second elimination game of the day. No score between the Bulls and the Knights on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Limitless, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
Breezy day, as it has been most of the week. The only time the wind really died down was last night when the sun set with ECU and USF. There was a little dead wind earlier, but as it's warmed up, the sun coming off of the Gulf. And the USF Bull fans, they're used to this weather. They know what's going on.
Been able to come to this stadium for the last 10 years in a row to enjoy conference tournament games in Clearwater. The USF's been pretty successful here in this tournament since 2014 when the American came around. Bulls have 4 wins. The only other 2 teams that have been more successful, Connecticut and Memphis, both with 8 wins apiece, and Houston with 11 wins in 14 games. Again, the Cougars have played in the first 3 American championship games in this tournament.
Here is Kyle Marsh, 319, 6 homers, and 51 runs batted in this year. They'll have Chatfield a bit deep in left field. Zach and center, Montgomery and Wright are normal. Stays low now, 2-0. So Marsh, Thomas, and Gallagher, 4, 5, and 6. Two-0 pitch, down and out. 3-0 out of Badger. Marsh is taking all the way here. 19 walks, 31 strikeouts of the season in his 58th game, 58th start of the year. 4-pitch walk to lead the inning off. So Strzelecki has walked both leadoff man Hamlin an inning ago, who Dietrich ended up throwing out. We'll see what Marsh does. Marsh just 1 stolen base. Doubtful he's going. Rylan Thomas, the freshman, 303 with 13 home runs. He leads UCF. He has 52 driven in. First pitch will be a slider down and away. So it's 5 straight balls now for Strzelecki to start off the second. There is a strike now. 1-1, so the first strike of the second inning. Righty-righty matchup from Strzelecki, and just missed. Comes in just a bit high. Now 2-1. High again. Hitters count. 3 balls and a strike. Ron Thomas can sit on one, looking to drive something. Again, 13 home runs, 11 doubles, slugging .532. Would be just his 15th walk of the season against 79 strikeouts. Breaking ball caught it for the strike, 3-2. They've got Chatfield about a step away for the warning track on the left. The 3-2 pitch off the handle and lost the bat, and I don't know if that caught a piece of Harry Greer or not. It got him to jump out of the way.
Strzelecki, a redshirt junior, 6 days ago faced UCF in that winner-take-all championship game in Orlando. He tossed 4 2/3 innings, allowed 5 hits and 3 runs. All 3 runs were the difference. The Bulls plated 2. It wasn't quite enough. You got to love that opportunity as a student athlete, right? About a week later, you're going to give me another shot at him? All right, let's do this.
Not just another shot, but a shot to knock him out of the tournament. Called strike 3. Big one. Second strikeout for Strzelecki to go along with 2 walks. Double play now could get you out of the inning as Cam Gallagher comes to the plate. Gallagher 284, pair of home runs, 29 driven in. Well, check swing there and a strike. Gallagher been sporting that beard this season. A little extra warm in this Florida sun late in the season.
One of the members of the senior class is some chirping coming from the UCF dugout. Harry Greer has to go address that. Out of Cape Coral, Florida.
The 0-1 to Gallagher. Takes a ball outside, now 1-1.
Gallagher's played in 210 games for the Knights over his 4-year career. A solid contributor.
Base hit to left field, goes the opposite way. And the Knights have something going here in the second with a runner in scoring position.
Outside part of the plate. Guess he knew it was coming. Went out there and just poked it into left field.
Matthew Baike, a chance to drive in the first run of the game. 277, 10 doubles, 25 driven in. Still a double play will get Strzelecki and the Bulls out of this jam. They turn 37. UCF's hit into 31. Baike, though, looking for a base hit. Off speed called strike, 0-1. Strzelecki, who had been falling behind in the count, quickly gets ahead of Matthew Baike, the 7-hole hitter. Marsh again walked. Thomas struck out looking before Gallagher singles to left field.
Micah played in 41 games as a freshman, hitting .277 this year as a sophomore. Become an everyday guy.
Outfield will shade just a little bit to the left. To the right-hander again. Montez shading up the middle with the runner at second. Swing and a miss. Ran it inside that time. Ramped it up to 88 miles an hour.
Very good placement once again by Strzelecki. Who pitched into the 5th inning a week ago against UCF, but ended up taking the loss.
1-2, fouled straight back, stays 1-2. Marsh again at second, Gallagher over at first, just 1 out. Off speed, another foul ball. So still a 1-2 count here on Matthew Baike. Baike this season, 16 walks. He struck out 35 times. His 58th game, 56th start of the year. Oh, look like they're going to put the runners in motion, but again, another foul ball. So a nice battle going on here. Usually they say the more foul balls, the advantage goes to the hitter. We'll see if that plays out. However, he is down 1-2 in the count. He could waste a pitch. He's not opted really to waste one very far out of the zone. One, two, got him to pop it up left side. At the wall, and that's 3 rows high. Still can't give up on a foul ball. That wind blowing in from the left side of the field. We saw a ball in the UConn-Memphis game. The catcher didn't make a run out. He thought it was going to be out of play, and it bounced about 2 feet into fair territory.
We saw another one where McVeigh was at third. The pop-up went at the plate and just blew into the field. McVeigh had come in to cover just in case and paid dividends.
Yesterday, the Huskies got that foul ball right on their own top step as well. A 1-2 pitch from Strzelecki yet again is outside. Finally wasted it way outside. Not going to bite after that one. So a 2-2 count. So both Strzelecki and Micah can kind of reset. It's been a long plate appearance for Matthew Micah. Pitch count slowly moving up as well. Reaches out. Another foul ball. Caps it. He's going to be over 40 pitches at the end of this inning. Maybe over 40 pitches by the time this at-bat's over. Sitting at 38 right now. The only thing that would prevent that would be a double play on the next pitch. Two. Yet another foul ball.
He's gone from high 80s. He went down to 78 on that foul ball we saw over off the third base side where Villar ran out of room. That last pitch, 87, just a little bit in front of it. Might we see the 40th pitch break and go to the outside on the right-hander?
2-2. Inside.
I think that was supposed to finish a little bit lower.
Right. I think Micah thought it was too. He's kind of leaning out over the plate waiting for the break that never came, and now they'll go out and talk to Strzelecki again. Diedrich will about that call. Full count at 3-2. They're shading up the middle looking for a potential double play. Base hit would score a run, should score a run. That's a dead ball. The hit batter. And after all that, the bases are loaded.
6th batter that Strzelecki's hit this year, and that'll run him full.
Ooh, off the bill of the batting helmet. Saw Alec Trella catch one in the nose earlier today. Now off the bill of the helmet, neither one intentional.
I was going to say, Trella saw that and said, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Watch my replay. I mean, you knew immediately once Trella took that one in the face and went face down on the ground and didn't get up that it was serious.
So Trella took a turn, thought he kind of lost his balance, but then when he basically face planted in the dirt and didn't move.
Well, your trainer, was it Wolfinger?
Yeah, Wolfinger, yeah.
He went out there, and I mean, the problem is he wants to stay in the game. He thinks he's fine. Now I got to stop the bleeding. What are we going to do to stuff up his nose?
Well, he's a cut man in boxing. He's waiting for the ice pack and the cold iron to put on the nose and everything, but saw him bring the cotton to pack the nose and able to stop it and stay in the game.
So a strikeout of Thomas, the single by Gellinger, now the hit by pitch of Micah. What's he got left for Ryan Kreil?
41 pitches already in the first inning and a third. Bases loaded, 1 out. UCF has a chance to put a few runs on the board. Ryan Kreil, 244. He's got 4 homers, 20 driven in this year. 4 doubles and 3 triples as well. Marsh at third, Gellinger at second, Micah over at first. Popped him up left side. Coming over is Villar. That'll stay at the warning track. There's 2 away. Logan Iser, the junior catcher, 253, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in.
Heiser with an RBI single got UCF on the board in their 8-3 victory against Tulane. He's had a nice tournament so far. Went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored in that game.
Inside for a called strike, 0-1.
Well, we finally got a chance to see Robbie Howell in that victory against Tulane, and he is maybe better than advertised. 10-0 on the year now and had 10 strikeouts, a season high.
He was outstanding. He had set the pace early for the UCF Knights. 0-1 popped up to the right side. Looks like he may get out of the jam. Jogging in is Montgomery to make the catch and end the threat. No runs ahead, no errors. 3 men left on base. On to the bottom of the second inning from Clearwater. We are still scoreless on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Scoreless game. We go to the bottom of the second as the Bulls got away from a bases-loaded jam to retire the Knights. That's the way the tournament's stacking up now with 3 teams waiting for the 4th and final team.
Excited to see a couple of games tomorrow on tap, as many as 4. The higher-seeded team has won 6 of 9 games so far. Here we are, USF and UCF, in a winner-take-all.
2 teams that made it through the winners bracket, Houston and ECU. UConn advancing through that losers bracket today with a 7-5 win over Memphis. There'll be 1 Florida school playing on Saturday, and 1 will be at home. Tuku Montez, the second baseman, to lead it off. 291, 4 homers, and 28 driven in. First pitch on the way of the inning. Breaking ball stays down and in for a ball, 1-0. Montez this year, 23 walks, 38 strikeouts. The 1-0. Soft liner. Trapped at short by Bozeman over to first in time. 1 up, 1 down for Chris Chatfield, who homered last night.
Montez with speed, but not enough to beat out that throw from the shortstop.
And that's not an easy in-betweener for a fielder to take either in the infield. Just trapped at an immediate call by David Condon at third base that he would have to throw over to first. Wind up first offering to Chatfield. He'll appeal down to third, and he does go around. So an 0-1 count here to the left-hander. UCF threat in the top half of the inning. See what the Bulls do here in the bottom. Quickly 0-2 on Chatfield. Nobody on and one away. Upstairs, couldn't get him to chase the high heat. Williams still with a pitch to waste if he wants to. Came at him with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Inside again. So he got ahead 0-2. He's wasted a pair at 2-2. Montgomery on deck, Dietrich in the hole. 2-2. Fouled it off out of play to the left. Breaking ball caught, strike three. First strikeout for Williams.
Montgomery frozen with the bat on his shoulder. And that's where your pitching coach basically says, you're welcome. Wasn't expecting that at all. Catches the inside corner. Nice paint job for the first K of the game.
Cameron Montgomery, 213, 2 home runs, 11 driven in. 4 straight retired now by Williams after the 1-out walk an inning ago. Popped him up into right field. Coming out at second is Micah, and that'll end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Williams. No runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on. We have played 2 complete from Clearwater on Elimination Friday. No score between the Knights and the Bulls on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
UCF took it on the chin on night number 1 and then made their way back through the bracket to play on this Friday. USF got to win an opening night, but last night there was Charlie Morgan, the pinch hitter, with the squeeze play to win it, and that's what sent USF to Friday afternoon. As East Carolina, the 8 seed, is 2-0 in the tournament and waiting in the semifinals. USF trying to bounce back After having a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the ninth, see East Carolina rally. But if they win here, they are where they would have gone anyway. And they would get a rematch with the Pirates tomorrow. They would have to beat the Pirates twice to advance to the championship on Sunday. Houston facing UConn again at 10 Eastern, 9 Central tomorrow. Houston needing one win. The Huskies will need to sweep the Cougars if they want to play in the title game. Then there'll be a rematch of last year's championship game. Yesterday, it was Houston edging UConn 7-6. So the Knights at the top of the order. They played Hamlin, Putnam, and Bozeman. 1, 2, and 3. Again, Hamlin got the leadoff walk in the first and was thrown out stealing. First pitch called strike on the outside. Hamlin leaves it up and out.
Such a fun rivalry that can get intense at times between UCF and USF. They played 130 games in baseball. The Bulls lead 69-61 all time. That includes 4 out of 6 games this year that the Bulls took.
Ball 2 just on the outer half at 2-1.
UCF had some success during the regular academic year, though, against the Bulls, especially in basketball. They swept a pair of games, 86-64 in Orlando, and then they won 59-56 near the end of the year in Tampa.
2-1 at the D's, misses 3-1. That's, of course, it's a great addition having Wichita State coming to the tournament, but you have a couple of institutions that have a long history. You take a look at Memphis, Cincinnati, going back to the 60s and the 70s in the Missouri Valley, and the 2 Florida schools. So a couple of natural rivalries that will go back to just 3 games. It was fun playing those 6-game series, but
yep.
Can't pass up the addition of Wichita State as Hamlin, for the second time this game, is going to draw the leadoff walk.
When it came to the gridiron, USF took the win 48-31 near the end of the year. Into the regular season. Kind of hurt the bowl chances of UCF a little bit. Still ended up playing Arkansas State. Little chance the measure of revenge came in the form of the regular season baseball championship for the Knights.
Ball in the dirt. It's going to be a wild pitch. So a Hamlin at second base. He was thrown out in the first, but he'll get the free to second here in the third.
2 wild pitches in the ball game, just 5 on the whole year. One hopper over the top of the plate. Tough for Dietrich to come away with that.
The women's basketball rivalry has been pretty good. The most recently, of course, Jose Fernandez has had it really going well with the Bulls, but UCF has had their success in the women's program as well. Both programs in men's basketball. USF trying to rebuild. They're going to be under new leadership. Some postseason action this year for the Knights.
Central Florida women won in Tampa this year. Close game, 66-62 against the top 25 Bulls. And Jose Fernandez would kill me for saying that.
Eli Putnam, 328. He's got 8 home runs. Popped it up right side. Looks like it's going to stay in play. It's going to be a tough one. Will it? No, it does get out of play. Carried a little bit further with that wind blowing out toward right. And both institutions over the last 5 years to a decade have done massive additions, massive renovations to their athletic facilities.
You're really looking at 2 of the hottest coaches in all of college baseball here, too. Coach Kingston, certainly a hot property for USF, and then the reigning American Coach of the Year, and Greg Lovelady in his first season with the Knights comes away with a piece of hardware, the regular season title. Of course, he's no stranger to that. That guy played at Miami. Oof.
2-1 inside. 1 titles as a player and as an assistant coach with the Hurricanes. An outstanding job. But again, talked to him earlier this season, said he was not going to leave where he was. He was coaching up north until he found the right opportunity. Was not going to jump at just the first available job. Here's a pop-up behind the plate. Dietrich, and the ball will now move out towards Stuckel as he makes a right turn into fair territory for the catch.
I don't think Dietrich ever picked that ball up off the bat. He looked up in the sky and just couldn't find it. Luckily, Stuckel comes in for the Bulls and makes the catch. Had to contend with Putnam jogging down to first, too. That'll bring up Brennan Bozeman to the plate.
Sports coach Lovelady. One of the places not real easy to win, but he made it look pretty simple at Wright State, 124-56. Horizon League champions, tournament champions in each of his 3 seasons at the helm. 2-time coach of the year. Brought Justin Parker from Wright State with him. Did a really nice job up there. Brennan Bozeman, a .260 hitter with a home run, 21 driven in. He's got a runner in scoring position, looking for a one-out base hit. Strzelecki, a BP fastball, but it'll miss.
Coach Kingston, 1 win shy of 100 for his career in 3 seasons at USF. Picked up the loss last night against ECU after taking a lead into the 9th. Bulls have still yet to win 2 games in a single week in the American tournament. Gone 1-2 3 years running.
2-0, fouled it off out of play. And I know last year they thought it was going to be a big year like this, but they had a lot of injuries last year. Healthy this year, and they have been lights out. Two-one on Bozeman again. They've got Hamlin at second after the leadoff walk. Strike at the knees. Coach Kingston looking on from the third base dugout here at Spectrum Field.
Trying to push the Bulls back into the semifinals in a conference tournament for the first time since 2012.
Fly ball to center. That's going to tail back to Zek, and there's 2 away. A lot of credit goes to UCF and USF. Both of their spring sports, stick and ball sports, softball and baseball, have been tremendously successful. As you see that ball curve right back to Zek. Both UCF and USF. Only one team out of the American this year in Tulsa, but most of the time they're a 2-3, sometimes 4-bid league, and 2 of those teams that are pretty regular are the Bulls and the Knights.
Coach Kenny involved with Team USA. He's brought his Bulls to the College World Series. That was back in 2012. And just a team that's regularly in the NCAAs and fighting for super regionals.
Going to be low, 1-0. Marsh drew a leadoff walk in the second. So it's been a leadoff walk in every inning for the Knights. They have nothing to show for it, though. Hamlin got caught stealing in the first. Marsh stranded at third an inning ago, and now Hamlin at second, but there's 2 away.
Ken Erickson, the softball coach for USF, used to be a former Bull. He was a player and saw the pictures. He's hidden most of them. Won't tell you how long ago it was.
High pop up to the left side. This one's coming back. Not enough, though. Oh, I don't know. Chatfield thought that was going to be way out of play. I don't know if that bounced the warning track back behind that blind spot. There is just a little nook back there. One of the unique parts about this ballpark in Clearwater. Back where the maintenance equipment comes through back in that left field corner. Just enough room to fool you. 1-1 now, that runner at second. Strzelecki's count up to now 60 pitches, popped him up in the left field. Chatfield camps up under it, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left on base on the bottom of the third inning from Clearwater, and we are still scoreless on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Had to battle the weather earlier this week. We moved the tournament up 2 games, but once the weather cleared after Wednesday, it's been great. So the fans able to come out and enjoy some nice afternoons and at least one really nice evening before we get to the weekend. Now on Friday, Memorial Day weekend, so people getting out a little bit early.
Well, what a compelling matchup. Both teams with 5 all-conference players on each side, and we've already seen Robbie Howell, the pitcher of the year. In the lineup, we'll see the Rookie Player of the Year, Ryland Thomas. He was a unanimous selection for the Knights, but right now it's all about Chris Williams trying to keep control of USF's offense.
First pitch going to be fouled off left side.
For the Knights, they had Howell, Bryce Tucker, and Eli Putnam all on the first team in the American, and the second team made up of Ryland Thomas and Matthew Micah.
Both Peter Strzelecki and Chris Williams have their pitch counts up just a little bit early on in the ball game. Now 0-2 on the foul ball by Dietrich, the catcher. 260, no homers, 17 driven in.
For USF, senior Luke Borders and junior Kevin Merrill on the first team for the American, and then Phoenix Sanders, Duke Stunkel, and today's pitcher, Peter Strzelecki, all on the second team together. I don't know if you'll see a better collection of all conference players unless Houston and UConn match up again.
1-2. I remember last year the fans getting to work some of the bonus coverage with Haley Outen. We had done the Facebook Live that Monday announcing the all-conference team, and they were the 3 seed, I believe, last year, 3 or 4 seed, and people were wondering how they got all those all-conference players. And it played out. They were playing Sunday and ended up winning the regular season. They had the senior Layton Ball Club a year ago, and he strikes him out. That's going to be the second strikeout of the game now for Williams.
Dietrich didn't get the start in the last game. Strikes out here in his first plate appearance, and that'll give way to Garrett Zeck, speedy center fielder.
Williams quietly has set down 6 in a row. The only bull that he's allowed was Stunkel with the 1-out walk in the first. Zeck 262, a home run, 14 runs batted in. Upstairs for a ball, up and in. One and 0. Strike called on the outside.
Zeck with a couple of plate appearances yesterday. He came in to pinch hit for Chris Chatfield, reached on a fielder's choice, grounded out to the shortstop. 6 foot, 195-pound sophomore out of Naples, Florida.
1-1, fouled off right side. So a strike away from his 3rd strikeout. He struck out 2 of the last 3. Knights going to those camo hats this afternoon. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. 7 in a row retired now by Williams. He sat down 7 straight Bulls.
Williams has punched out 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced, and that breaking ball is sharp.
Back at the top of the order, Kevin Merrill flew to center in the first. 392 hitter with 6 homers, 33 driven in. But look at that camo hat. We've seen some patriotic looks this week. Memphis wore the white cap with the red, white, and blue logo earlier this week. Round ball to second on the first pitch. Mikey easily over to first to end the inning, and that's 8 straight retired by Williams. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We have played 3 complete from Clearwater, and there is no score on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
Finding the shade, that's the thing you want to do to stay out of the heat today here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater. Always a chance to get some time on air. It's the USF Bull fans. Some kids made it. It said before they were going to roll it up, respect our squad. So that here supporting their Bulls.
That's what they're trying to do, gain a little respect. There's the office, the USF Bulls fans who, if you make a mistake as an opponent, they might get on you just a little bit. They were certainly having fun last night until the 9th inning.
Well, what the Bulls are still trying to do, and as long as if they can advance out of this elimination game, and now UCF's in the same situation, and so is Houston. Those 3 teams would like to try to find a way to get a host spot. The RPI is right there around that edge, but I would think you're probably going to get 1 host site maybe out of the American. You might get 2 if the 2 correct teams are playing on Sunday, but of course everyone's going to be selfish. We want it to be our host site, so these teams trying to win in advance. Those 3 teams that I mentioned are safe for the NCAA, and again, we think UConn, with that win today, that gives them 2 wins of the tournament, should be good.
On Sunday at 7:30 on ESPN, they'll announce the 16 host sites, and then 12 noon, they'll announce the 64 teams in the regional.
Swing and a miss, and he sent down Rylan Thomas quickly. 1 up and 1 down.
Strzelecki's been very good through 3 1/3 innings now. He's allowed just 1 hit, the single by Gellinger to start the 2nd. Another strikeout there.
Got 3 walks and 3 strikeouts now. Here is Gellinger, the 3rd baseman who singled to left field back in the 2nd inning. Gellinger, 284, pair of home runs, 29 driven in. Has, without a doubt, most outstanding beard of the tournament.
Some people are so caught up in beards. What's the old saying? What do you got to hide?
1 and 1. Down and out.
You really got to think about the future of these 2 programs. Both are just headed up on an arc. I mean, you talk about the coaches and the players that are able to recruit from the Orlando and the Tampa Bay area. If you can just recruit the Sunshine State, bring in a couple of kids from surrounding areas, Can be very successful.
Popped it up straight behind us.
Beautiful ballpark in place. Hard to believe that USF has had their home stadium for the last 7+ seasons now. And UCF, renovations underway as the season comes to a close.
They added that upper deck a few years ago over on the first base side, and they'll have some more big renovations. Gallagher again goes the opposite way for a base hit. He's used the outer half of the plate twice and twice gone to the left side.
2 hits in the ball game. They both belong to Cam Gallagher of UCF. Did they stay on the outside part of the plate? Yes, they did. The ball just explodes off his bat into left field. That's where he placed the first one. Now he's got another.
Matthew Micah hit by a pitch in the second inning. 277, no homers, 25 driven in. Gallagher this year has 4 stolen bases. Dietrich behind the plate's already thrown 1 runner out. And Luke Hamlin, their best base stealer, threw him out in the first inning. Down the right field line, that's going to get out of play.
Despite finishing at the bottom of the standings last year, UCF had a good showing in this tournament in 2016. Came away and got a victory 7-4 against Cincinnati. They ended up losing twice to Tulane. The first time 4-3, and the next one when the Waves sent them home 5-0. They went 2-1 in pool play in 2014 with head coach Terry Rooney and didn't quite qualify for the championship.
Goes after a ball a little bit out of the zone and hits it well, but lines it out to left field, and Chatfield will make the play.
2015, the only time that UCF went 2 and barbecue in this tournament.
And that was a tough year. Remember, that was 2 walk-off losses.
One to East Carolina, another to UConn.
Hanging up there, tough to lay off those sometime. Ryan Cryle popped up in the second. He's 0 for 1. 244, 4 homers, and 20 runs batted in. Runner at first and 2 away for the left-hander. Takes a strike at the knees.
Cryle 2 for 4, 2 runs scored and an RBI in the win over Tulane. Big hole on the right side, though. They have started to shade over Montez.
Well, excuse me, swing, rolls it to second. Montez the first in time. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a runner left on base. So on to the bottom of the 4th inning. Still no score between the Bulls and the Knights on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Always fun to come out to the ball game and get your foul ball. Those youngsters have one there, and I still want to give credit. Earlier today, I don't know if you guys noticed it, the young man that got the foul ball early in a ball game, he was racing an older gentleman that was very close to it. The young man got it, and he thought, hey, you always see the adults give the young kids the ball. This young kid thought for a second, walked back up and gave him the baseball.
Wow.
I was like, man, he was raised right.
Got a little boy of my own. Like to see that one day. Look at that.
The first year you and I worked together, remember the guy up on the kid on the concourse got a foul ball, and then running back, another one bounced right into his hands. I'll never forget that. Like he's living right. Here's Duke Stunkel. 339, a home run, 21 driven in. Strike taken on the outer half. Well, despite some pitch counts getting elevated early, both of these guys have settled in, getting more strike calls now, getting a little bit more confident, cruising along. Oh, 1. Just up and out in the 1-1 count. Hard hit ball, one hopper. Nice backhand play. Long way to throw, and Bozeman makes it look easy. That's the 9th straight ball that Williams has retired. And ought to tip his cap to Bozeman on a nice play.
Bozeman sees it well off the bat. The senior makes the play in the hole in time. Well, last night against East Carolina, USF blew a lead when leading after 8 innings for the first time in 32 games. They had been 32-0 when leading after 8.
Luke Borders popped up to third base in the first. He's 0 for 1.
Looks like the offense hasn't really shrugged that off yet. Tough to come back from a debilitating loss like that and have to play your rival too. I mean, that should give you the chance to get up going into the game, and certainly the defense has been good. The pitching has been good.
Williams has been dominant. Only Stunkel with the 1-out walk in the first. The only bull to reach so far. Fastball a bit low, and it's 2-0. And again, Williams has sent down 9 straight. Fouls it off, and you could almost see it coming early in the week with the weather situation, the wind gusting out to left and to right one day. You could, and everyone having to shuffle their pitching staffs due to the circumstances, some spot starters early. That yes, it's a very offensive tournament early, but I bet once we get past Thursday and the weather settles down and you get more of your normal rotation going, that the scores are going to start coming down, and that's exactly what we've seen. 2-1, ground ball. Just short, and again, Bozeman makes the play. That's 10 in a row retired. And he's let his defense work, only 3 strikeouts. Boy, the scouting report right on target, because Bozeman playing out the middle that time and rolled right to him. Villar lined out the center to end the first inning. Villar 302, 7 homers and 44 driven in. Good pitch there and a strike call.
There are a couple of teams that started the tournament, higher seeds, that tried to string together a couple of relievers to fill in for a starter to set them up for later in the week. UCF was one of them. They went with Trent Thompson against East Carolina. He only had 3 starts all season long, 14 appearances in relief. East Carolina ended up winning that game by a sizable margin, 14-3.
Strike away from getting out of the inning and sitting down his 11th straight batter. And you got to remember the East Carolina win last night. Their first 2 runs scored on wild pitches. 0-2, up and out. But what a gutsy outing by Cliff Godwin's ball club. And again, they have taken advantage when they've had the opportunity. Do it any way you can. They're sitting at 2-0 in this tournament.
UCF would be pretty well set up if they're able to push past the Bulls and make it to Saturday. You could throw Joseph Sheridan, 12 starts on the year. He's 10-4. You could also throw Juan Pimentel, who's 6-5. He's got 12 starts. Pimentel threw 2 innings of relief to close out the East Carolina game.
1-2 inside, now a 2-2 count.
Maybe throw him in the second game of the day. give him that much, 3 extra hours of rest if possible. But I think they'd be set up pretty well.
Two. Tipped it into the glove, and he hangs on for the strikeout. 4th strikeout for Williams. He has now retired 11 straight Bulls in this ball game. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 4th complete. We are scoreless on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
What a great place to hang out and a perfect day to do it, as it's gotten a little hot here on Friday afternoon at 86 degrees, and they're enjoying that breeze. That game went so long last night, I thought they were going to yell for last call.
Well, it's one of the few tiki bars that has flat screens underneath the roof. It is a perfect place to watch the game.
Frenchie's was a place you had to be heads up the first 3 days of the tournament, too. Had a ball hit on top and several hit up in that bar stool area.
Wind howling out through left and left center field. Still a factor blowing out through right now, but we had wind gusts that were over 20 miles an hour during the games.
9-1-2 for the Knights. It's Heiser, Hamlin, and Putnam. We talked about how Williams has sat down 11 in a row. Well, Strzelecki has done a nice job. Got in just a little bit of trouble in the second inning. Other than that, a walk and a single. Skips in the dirt. He has retired 6 of his last 7 that he's faced. Sitting at 75 pitches. Strike call on the outside, 1-2. Strike him out. 4th strikeout of the game now for Strzelecki. 7 of 8 retired, and there's 1 away in the inning.
Top of the order coming to the plate in Hamlin. He's walked twice. Strzelecki has struggled to throw strikes to him.
He settled down on the leadoff man as well. Remember, the first 3 innings he walked Hamlin, walked Marsh, walked Hamlin. Since then, struck out Thomas, now Heiser. And delivers a strike on the first pitch to Hamlin, 0-1. Fouled him off, had to play 0-2. Oh, just on the outside. Nice waist pitch that time, and that was a great take by Luke Hamlin. Senior, a lot of experience under that belt. Knew that a waist pitch likely was on the way. You get a freshman or sophomore, they may chase after that pitch. 1-2. Comes in, and he stays alive.
I know we're scoreless right now. This has been one of the closest series of the years. The first 6 games, 4 wins for the Bulls. There's another souvenir. When you add up all the runs, UCF outscored USF 30-28. That close.
Hot day trying to keep that direct sun off the back of the necks and off the ears. Saw it earlier today in UConn-Memphis ball game. Ground ball up the middle, long way to go, and it's going to get through. Hamlin on for a third time in the ball game. A pair of walks and now a one-out single.
A leadoff man puts the barrel of the bat out there, a little high on the outside part of the plate, but it'll trickle through. All-American first-teamer Eli Putnam coming to the plate. He was 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in that game against East Carolina. A little bit hotter yesterday, coming back and getting the win.
Shows bunt, pulls it back.
Putnam had a pair of RBIs and a run scored against Tulane. Homered down the left field line. Ended up sending the Green Wave home.
Hamlin said just a third of the game. Putnam looking for a fourth. Hamlin over at first. Caught stealing for just the second time of the year in the first. He's got 19 steals. Dietrich, that was his 14th runner he's thrown out of the year.
A senior off first, a senior at the plate.
Strike call. Boy, Hamlin is eager at first. Jumping up and down over there a little bit. See if they put him in motion at some point. 2-1. This is not a bad count to run on because you probably eliminated the pitch out. Take a look at him jumping up and down. A little hop. Coach Lovelady over there talking to the first base umpire, Brandon Cooper.
Potentially talking about some of the motions of the pitcher. Maybe he's spotting a balk. I don't know what else he could be talking about.
Swing on a tip ball into the mitt, 2-2.
Probably wrong there. USF only has 5 balk calls against them the whole year, and Strzelecki doesn't have one of them.
Reaches out, fouls it off. Well, again, they got that count elevated early, especially in the second inning when they loaded the bases up. Now he's starting to approach naughty pitches. Ryan Valdez, we've seen in this tournament, starting to loosen up in the bullpen. 2-2, up and in, and a 3-2 count. Again, he was cruising along, retiring 7 of 8 before the single by Hamlin. Now is worth the count full to Putnam.
Elevates a little bit on Putnam. Comes over the inside half. Big pitch coming.
Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Strike him out. Throw him out. Wow, Dietrich has gunned out Hamlin twice today. And that will end the inning. Catcher's interference again. We've seen it this week. No score halfway through on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Now count out under the shade, watching us on the American Digital up under the Tiki Hut out at Frenchie's. They'll pass halfway through, and today it's been Chris Williams. He has been outstanding. He has sat down 11 in a row. He has struck out 4 total Bulls in this ball game. Got a little high pitch count earlier. Since then, he has just been in cruise control. Got 11 straight retired by Williams. Be 5, 6, and 7. Montez, Chatfield, Montgomery. Ground out, a pop-up, and a strikeout between those 3. Righty-righty matchup. Montez takes the strike, and right now, Williams in really good shape. Just 46 pitches in the ball game. Oh, and 1. Ground ball to short to Hopper. Bozeman over in time. 12 straight retired. Whereas Chatfield went down looking back in the second.
Pitcher Chris Williams with one of his best performances all year long. The Bulls are going to have to do something to try and disrupt this rhythm that he's in. Literally looking unhittable the last 4 frames.
We haven't seen a Bull yet maybe square to bunt just to get the infield to bounce around, maybe get him off his rhythm. That potentially could come into play. We'll see. Chatfield got a homer, though, in this tournament already. Strike call on the outside, and it's 0-1. Right now, he's throwing the most important pitch. A lot of people, I've heard some coaches talk about this, some big league managers. I cannot remember who said it. The 0-1 check swing. Discussion, one of those old major league where the old timers are talking about, you know, technical stuff. And the guy goes, someone asked me one time what was the best pitch? A fastball, a slider, a curveball? He goes, the best pitch you can throw is strike 1. And he's 11 of 14 on first pitch strikes today.
Pretty impressive. Can't hold up the bat there. Talking to the UCF dugout on the first base side.
So Harry Greer riding down the warning and getting back behind the home plate.
Again, that last offering by Chatfield, I think they'd much rather see 0-2 your count up on the scoreboard.
One. Chopper foul just over the dugout. Look out. Got up on those fans a little quicker. That took the top spin. But they get a big laugh out of it. Everyone's okay. One, two. Swing and a miss. But after one up and out of the zone, that's the 5th strikeout, 13th straight Bull. Williams is retired.
Chatfield with the home run yesterday, 0 for 2 today. Pretty powerful cut, too, but on the outside part of the plate, not going to hit that anywhere hard.
Now it's going to be Cameron Montgomery, the sophomore, 213, 4 doubles, pair of home runs, 11 driven in.
No one for USF has reached base since Duke Stunkel when he drew a walk in the first.
A rare first pitch ball by Williams. Comes back and misses. 2-0 count. Infield back all the way around. Nobody on and 2 down. Got him on the inside with the swing and the miss. Tail just down and in from the right-hander. Down low and a rare 3-1 count for Montgomery. Hitters count.
4th appearance of the year for Williams against USF. Twice in relief to start that mirror opponent matchup. And then last week, 7 innings in the start. He got the win in the 9-1 victory.
3-1 ground ball to third. They had him play deep. Dellinger to first. Nice stretch by Thomas to end the inning. 14 in a row. That's what Williams has sat down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. He struck out 5. We are still scoreless through 5 here on Elimination Friday on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
Scoreless ball game between the Knights and the Bulls. We move to the 6th and a really good pitcher's duel between Chris Williams, who we showed you earlier, and Peter Strzelecki.
Strzelecki set down 8 of the last 10 that he's faced. He's got 5 strikeouts in the game, 5 Ks over 5 innings pitched. Pretty effective today for the upperclassmen. Strzelecki has been able to light up that gun and keep it away from UCF's bats. They've got just 3 hits in the ballgame. He's been able to scatter them. Nothing really back-to-back to push a run across.
Again, after he loaded the bases in the 2nd, no real trouble. Leadoff walk, he got around in the 3rd, a 1-out single by Gellinger in the 4th, no trouble, 1-out single in the 5th. And again, that ended up being a strikeout catcher's interference instead of a strikeout caught stealing, but still an eliminated. Yeah, whoa, catching some sun in the outfield today in Clearwater. Why not? Get a tan Memorial Day weekend, get set up for the summer.
Brian Valdez continues to warm. 2nd inning up in the pen for USF's reliever. He's faced UCF several times this year.
Got up under that one. Into left. Chatfield makes the catch, and boy, Bozeman saw something briefly he liked. That was a healthy cut. It broke on him, and he only got it off the handle, but he saw something he liked early.
So Strzelecki will now face Kyle Marsh. This one kind of breaks inside. You'd like to see it more over the heart of the plate as a batter, and instead not able to drive it with any authority. Now a couple of all-conference selections will battle.
Marsh walked to the 2nd. He flew to right in the 3rd. Strike 2. He takes that one. Quickly down 0-2. Strzelecki slowly creeping up on 100 pitches. Foul right side out of play.
Dangerous hitter here. Marsh homered and had a 2 RBI single in the win against Tulane. Very good tournament so far.
0-2 goes after one out of the zone, fouls it off.
Just his second year with UCF, came in hitting .319. Has started every game but 2.
Again.
I think maybe the most impressive part about what Marsh has done is that he finished an RBI shy of leading the conference. The only guy he trailed, the player of the year, in Jake Shiner of Houston.
.0-2 grounds it up the middle. Knocked down, and that'll get into shallow center field as Merrill couldn't handle it.
Merrill commits his 11th error of the year. This time it's shortstop, and that one just kind of ate him up a little bit. First error of the game for either team. The hops off the grass, not so hard. You can work with those. The ones off the dirt, that was tough to play.
Well, that clay is going to continue to harden throughout the afternoon. The 100 pitch is a bunt to advance the runner, and an infield single. Rylan Thomas sneaks it in there. So first and second with one away. And Gallagher has 2 hits, a chance for his third to break open a scoreless game.
We have a chance to see the replay. On the hill, Strzelecki and Villar at third. Nobody really makes the ultimate move to go get this ball and go to first with it. Villar coming in from far away. Strzelecki looking at him as well. And everybody's safe. Right now, Strzelecki working with a divot in front of the clay on the mound. I don't know if they're going to need to get somebody out there to... it looks like they placed it back in. Now the pitching coach will come out and talk with him. Again, you do have an out, 2 runners on. No damage has been done yet. But UCF working through the middle of their order, and the freshman player of the year, Rylan Thomas, pretty close to the plate.
Well, they've got the player they want coming up. And Gallagher, who's gone the opposite way twice today out to left field for an RBI opportunity, looking for his 30th RBI of the year to break up this scoreless tie. And Gallagher with 2 of the 4 hits today for the UCF Knights. Strzelecki hoping for the double play. That would get him out of the inning. First pitch is away for a ball, 1-0. And he drives one into center field. That's going to fall in. The bases will be loaded. And in betweener, so Marsh had to hold up to make sure it would fall in. Third hit of the day for Gallagher.
He's got a hit in every single game in this tournament. Now 5 of 13 in the American here in Clearwater. And again, 3 hits on the day to load the bases.
Now Micah looking for a fly ball. It was hit by a pitch. He's also lined out to left field. Still scoreless as Strzelecki now over 100 pitches. Micah takes a strike on the outside. Micah 10 doubles, no home runs, 25 driven in, does have 1 triple this year. Got Marsh at third, Thomas at second, Gallagher at first. Drives one in the left center field. That's going to get at least 2 runs in. Marsh and Thomas score. Dellinger, they'll throw the brakes on him at third base. So a 2-run double for Matthew Micah, his 11th double, RBIs 26 and 27. And that breaks up the scoreless tie.
First RBIs of the tournament for Matthew Micah, the sophomore. Left this one out over the plate, dropped it into the left center field gap. 2 runs come to score. He had just been 1 of 9, Jeff, but that's a way to punctuate it as we move on in this tournament.
That will do it for Strzelecki. Over 100 pitches. Guess that's the Micah shake at second base after the 2 runs come in. 2-0 UCF here in the top of the 6th inning, and Ryan Crowell's going to see someone new as Strzelecki comes off the mound. But a nice performance today. He got it through a high pitch count to get into the 6th before UCF finally was able to get to him. So they will come in. It'll be 2nd and 3rd with just 1 out on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Ryan Valdez is going to inherit 2nd and 3rd with just 1 out as UCF's broken up this scoreless tie with the 2-run double by Matthew Micah.
Valdez, a redshirt senior, 5'10", 181 pounds, and a Tampa native. He pitched in the game last night against ECU through an inning and a third of 1-hit, 1-run relief and struck out 1. On the season, he's 9-1 with an ERA at 4.02. In 56 innings pitched, he's given up 49 hits, 26 runs, and struck out 55. They're hitting less than .230 against the 5th-year player for the USF Bulls.
Ryan Crowell 0 for 2, a pop-up and a ground out today. 244, 4 homers and 20 driven in. Now they're going to draw the infield in. Base hit here would make it a 4-0 game. That'd be a pretty big lead the way this game's going, and especially the way Chris Williams has pitched. First pitch, swing and a miss. As we've learned with Memphis and Cincinnati, and then last night with ECU USF, definitely not over though.
Cryle hitting .333 in the tournament, 3 for 9 with a handful of runs scored.
Got into that one, but fouled it off.
79 miles an hour on the offering there by Valdez.
The 0-2 comes in at 91 miles an hour. Keeps it down low just above the feet. Heiser on deck is 0 for 2 as well. 8-9-1 due up for the Bulls in the bottom half of the inning. One, two, well off the plate. I believe he just lost the grip. I think he wanted to go outside, but lost the grip on it. Nice job by Dietrich to bounce outside.
Second time in a week, Valdez has faced off against UCF. He started game 2 in their series finale. Lasted just 3 innings and got hit around pretty good. 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned. He took the loss, his only loss of the season, which belongs to the Knights.
Reaches out high, chopper to first. That's good enough to score the run, and a nice job by Stunkel. His only option diving to the bag at first and just beats Kreil. But Gellinger will cover the scores to a 3 unassisted RBI ground out. Will make it 3-0 Knights.
3 runs scored in the inning. They chased USF starter, and they come in and immediately get an RBI off Ryan Valdez. That run will be attributed to Strzelecki. This one popped at the plate. Just beat him with the diving tag.
And Strzelecki charged with 3 runs. If Micah were to score, that would close the book on Strzelecki for the day. Heiser over 2, flew to right in the second. He struck out on the 5th. Oh, 1 and a high fly ball hit well to left field. That's going to send him back, and that one is gone. 2-run homer by Logan Heiser, his 4th of the year. And that'll open things up, a 5-0 UCF lead.
It was Marsh with the long bomb yesterday. Now it's Logan Heiser at the bottom of the order. Takes one over the left field wall and makes it a 5-0 game. Valdez has a breaking ball come in on the right-hander. That was just perfect placement to drive that thing high in the air into the pin.
Nice job by Chatfield to find the perimeter. He had it lined up just a little too deep as he made the jump for it. Now Greg Lovelady coming out. Talked to Harry Greer. They're going to call the umpires. Apparently Greg Lovelady feeling a couple fans maybe getting a little too into it behind the dugout. $5-0 UCF.
What a tournament for Logan Heiser, bottom of the order. He pinch hit in the first game. The last 2 games, he's 3 of 8, 2 runs scored, a home run, 3 RBIs. That's pretty good production at the bottom of the lineup.
You've got that from your 9-spot hitter. You're going to be very, very successful.
See the USF fan in the middle of your screen in green and gold sitting right next to the dugout of UCF. One of the game officials here at Spectrum Field comes out to talk with the officials.
Tell you what, we've always talked about the conference staff here that does a tremendous job, and the Threshers, their game day staff, such tremendous hosts for us. Everything's set up. They don't, sometimes you play at minor league parks and you can tell it's maybe a hindrance or an annoyance. They love having this tournament here. They do such a nice job, very welcoming, from the press box staff to the ushers to the security staff. Just a tremendous week here. They make us all feel so very welcome here in Clearwater. They do a tremendous job, and they are busy all year long between the Phillies and spring training and then the Threshers.
You know, whether it's hospitality, setting out everything that we need to make the tournament happen, feeding us like kings You know, it's every year in, year out. They do the best.
Pitch to Putnam is down and out. Two-0 offering, and there's a strike call at 2-1. Well, when Chris Williams comes back out, he's going to be working with a 5-0 lead. Bulls have to find something on offense. 2-1 up and out, 3-1. Strike call on the outside, now 3-2.
Finishes at the knees.
Fouled it off toward the line. Just over the railing. It's a neat place to sit. That's that recessed area next to the third base dugout. You can sit up there and you're at about eye level with the field.
Hamlin here with his 4th at-bat in the 6th inning. With numbers like that, you'd expect the score to maybe be a little bit higher. But it's these 5 runs in the 5th that have turned things around for the Knights.
3-2, and he walks him. So Eli Putnam is about to be the 9th Knight to come to the plate. Final numbers on Strzelecki now. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs all earned, 3 walks. Actually, 4 of the runs are his. 4 runs all earned, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Heiser is going to be charged to Valdez.
3 walks in the game. They all belong to Luke Hamlin.
Putnam over 3, a pair of strikeouts and a pop up to first. Swing and a miss, ran it up and in. Hamlin again thrown out, stealing in the first. Was going to be thrown out by Diedrich, but it was a catcher's interference call. And that was an inning ago. That ended the inning. That one is outside, just grazed the mitt of Diedrich. And Hamlin jogs into second. So twice he's been banged out at second. Twice he's moved to second on a wild pitch.
That pitch way outside. That'll put the runner in scoring position.
One as Hamlin leads off. Inside, and he hit him. So they have now batted around as Bozeman started the inning off, flying out to left field.
Right-hander's pitch just comes too far inside, plunks him in the back. Valdez spent his freshman season in Tallahassee with Hall of Fame coach Mike Martin in Florida State. That was back in 2013, then went to a junior college. He spent the last 3 years with the USF Bulls. Now he'll face Brennan Bozeman.
260, a home run, 20 driven in. Takes a strike, he's over 3. He's been in the air 3 times. The second, center, and left. Flies one in the center, may fall in. Diving forward in and out of the glove is Zach. They're going to wave the second run around. And he's going to outrace the throw to the plate. 2-run single by Brennan Bozeman. Now 7-0 UCF. Zach made a nice effort just in and out of the glove on the dive.
It'll be the 8th hit of the ball game. And he went back initially, comes in diving hard, gets his glove on it. No, it was just in front and bounced on the bottom side of his glove, and that makes it a 7-0 ball game.
So they've blown the game wide open now with a 7-0 lead. Runner at second and 2 away.
Second at bat of the inning now for Marsh.
Marsh will take a strike on the outside. Marsh today 0 for 2. Walked, flew to the right. He reached on the air earlier this inning. 319, 6 homers, 51 driven in. Leads them with 20 doubles. Right now, the hitting is contagious for UCF. Everyone confident, but he got up under this one into foul territory at third base. Coming back over is Villar to make the catch and in the inning. 7 runs in the inning. They did it on 5 hits. Man left on base. 7-0 on the American Digital Network. Wow.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
7-0 UCF. They've blown it wide open as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Looks like he's got his black and gold on. He's happier than he looks. He's just happy to have a day out today. Some warm weather. 7-0, and now Chris Williams has been outstanding. He's retired 14 straight, and he has a 7-0 lead behind him. First pitch, a strike on the outer half. Wind up 0-1. Breaking ball up and in. That'll leave the count up at a ball and a strike. 7-run, 6th inning for UCF. 1-1, pots him up right side. Coming in, Putnam. Backed him up a little bit with that wind. 15 straight. Garrett Zech struck out back of the third. He's 0 for 1. He has 1 of 5 strikeouts for Chris Williams today to go along with the 1 walk. So 15 straight retired since Duke Stunkel had a 1-out walk in the first. Shows bunt and a strike as he tried to push it. Tries to bunt again, fouls that one into the net. Likely taking the bunt off at 0-2.
Big 4 prop seaplane flying over here. Could potentially be something out of MacDill Air Force Base on the south end of the Tampa Island, or the Tampa Peninsula. Went and talked with USF's guys. Biggest lead, the biggest deficit that USF has had to overcome this year and made it all the way back is 4. They've done that several times. And the offense that hits close to 300 on the year, I mean, they're suited to do that. You just got to immediately break through against Chris Williams, which has not been successful for them this year.
You're starting to run out of outs, 11 outs to go. Swing and a miss. 16 straight. That's his 6th strikeout.
You take a look, though, in this tournament, you've had multiple games where there were late leads and the other teams have come back, even in the opener. Memphis with a 5-2 lead against Houston. Cougars ended up winning 6-5. USF had to come back and beat Tulane. They ended up beating them by 7-6. Then Memphis was up big, right? Was that 6-1?
6-1 and 8-3. Then it swung back the other way.
14-8.
14-8 with 3 innings to go.
And Memphis came away to win the highest scoring game in tournament history, 15-14 over the Bearcats. Houston ended up beating Connecticut 7-6, came back on the Huskies. The Bulls, who were winning against East Carolina last night, gave up some runs in the bottom of the 9th, including that suicide squeeze. Kirk Morgan. So 5 games in this tournament where teams have been able to rally late. Is 7-0 too much for USF?
You can look earlier today. Memphis had that late lead. Ground ball to the right side, deep in the hole. And a nice job covering the bag that time by Williams as Michael went a long way. 17 straight. Retired by Chris Williams. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We go to the 7th, and it's 7-0 UCF on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
Day is done for Valdez. 2/3 of an inning. Perry hits 1 run. It was earned, a walk, and no strikeouts. They'll turn it over to Mark Savarese.
He's a senior, 5'11", 200 pounds, out of Palm City, Florida, and locally went to St. Petersburg College before transferring into USF. 20 appearances on the year, all in relief. He's 3-0, undefeated with a 3.55 ERA. In 25 1/3 innings pitched, he's given up just 23 hits and 10 earned runs. He's only allowed 6 walks and struck out 35 in 25 innings. Opponents are hitting .235 against him. Now that could probably close the career on Ryan Valdez, who spent the last 3 years at USF since transferring in out of Florida State. Went 9-1 this year. He'll end up with a 15-5 overall record at USF. Not bad. UCF looking for a little bit of insurance here. The visiting team with 3 runs could potentially run rule USF. They've got a sizable lead here in the tournament.
Well, the one hope for Valdez, he knows he's going to get a minimum of at least 2 games to have a chance to get into postseason play with their 41 wins, but that will end the regular season, no doubt about that. The last time we'll likely see him in conference tournament play. If they don't rally here, they'll be waiting on Monday to see where they will go in the regionals. They'll still hold out a little hope. I know they've inquired about a hosting site.
Rookie position player of the year, Ryland Thomas, 1 for 3 with a run scored today. That one ran right away from him.
Thomas, Gellinger, and Micah. Thomas 1 for 3. Swing and a miss, and he's retired 1 away. Cam Gallagher has really had a nice day. 3 for 3. He's gone opposite field twice. He sent it up the middle once.
The left-hander has raised his batting average up to .295 on the year. He'll see Savarese for the first time today. Savarese threw 2 innings of relief against Tulane in the opener. 3 runs, 3 hits, all earned, 3 strikeouts.
Takes a strike on the outer half.
It ended up being the next pitcher for the Bulls, Andrew Perez, who got the win.
Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. Swing and a miss, and they finally solve Gellinger. He goes down for the first time this ball game. Back-to-back strikeouts for Savarese coming into the game. So Matthew Micah had a 2-run double an inning ago. He's also lined out to left, and he's been hit by a pitch. So he's been on twice today. 1 out. He hit it hard out to Chatfield.
In 3 games, he's now 2 for 10 at the American tournament. Helped bust the game open back in the 6th inning. That big 2 RBI double.
Strike call at the knees, 1-1. Swing and a miss. Pulled out on that one. One-two pitch, wasted it. Takes it down low now as a 3-2 count of Ryan Kreil on deck.
We are officially a week away from the NCAA regionals starting. They'll start Friday, June 2nd, potentially run through Monday, June 5th. Then the Supers, and then the College World Series, which is scheduled to start this year on Saturday, June 17th, and potentially run through the 28th. Never got a chance to spend Father's Day in Omaha with Pops, but that is a special occasion for a lot of people.
3-2 up and in, and he walks with 2 away. That'll bring up Krylo, the RBI ground out in the 6th. Never know what's going to happen once you get to Omaha or the World Series last year. What a great story. Coastal Carolina is that team that's a consistent regional, super regional team. They've hosted before, but it's always been that team that's been close. Finally break through. They make the most of it and take home the national title. What a year for the state of South Carolina. Baseball national title, football national title with Clemson, Final Fours for South Carolina.
Unbelievable. You know, whether it's Coastal Carolina or go back a couple years, Virginia, Vanderbilt, Fresno State in 2008, they will tell you that it can get done because they've got the hardware in their trophy case.
You get hot at the right time. You saw, of course, the Kent State team. You saw Stony Brook make it that year. Strike call on the outside.
You're naming a lot of teams that have gotten there at LSU's expense.
And it's not on purpose.
But there's other teams as well. I mean, Corky Palmer's last year at Southern Miss. They made it to the College World Series.
I'll tell you, they had them bouncing around. Strike caught. Memphis, when they were renovating their old stadium to make it now FedEx Park, we played Southern Miss at USA Stadium in Millington, just north, as you take a look at that pitch on the outer half. Corky Palmer's team came in there. Memphis, that was a freshman rebuilding year. We won 2 out of 3, and I told some people, that may be the worst Southern Miss team I've seen in a long time. They left Memphis that week, and then they went. Corky Palmer announced, this is going to be my last season. That team turned the corner at that point and went on that big run. And we were all happy. Corky, a great guy. Southern Miss, a rival of Memphis, but everyone a big fan of Corky Palmer. Just a great guy, and good to see him in his career in Omaha.
You don't have to be one of the Blue Bloods to make it to Omaha, and they've proved within the last 10 years you don't have to be there with a big name on your chest to win it all either.
1-2 on the foul ball. Americans had a couple super teams, just shy. Houston that first year, then East Carolina a season ago. This may be the strongest 4 they've sent at one time this year. You're going to have 4 teams. They're going to be able to make a nice push in the regional starting next weekend.
The Americans sent 4 teams in 2014, I believe. Louisville made it all the way to the World Series.
High fly ball, head well to right field, and that one is gone. A 2-run homer, and it's 9-0 UCF. Ryan Kreil goes to the right side, his 5th home run. RBIs 22 and 23.
The hero heads back to the dugout. Savarese doesn't give up a lot of home runs on the year. This is just the 5th in 2017, but it was elevated, and he drove it well over the wall onto the berm in right field.
Here's Logan Heiser, who hit the 2-run homer in the 6th. Comes in and will just miss. Up and in.
The game prior to this one, Memphis and UConn, I believe, was the first of the tournament without a home run, though, there were 2-3 triples in that game.
There were 3 triples, but the only game so far with no homers. UCF's made up for the afternoon game, though.
Coach Kingston standing up for one of his players. I don't know if there's anything to be seen on the replay. Maybe some words were said.
I think maybe Harry Greer issued a warning, came out in front immediately. Because right now, Logan Heiser's just hanging out talking to Dietrich behind the plate. But a 9-0 UCF lead. They have blown it wide open, especially behind Chris Williams' effort on the mound. Let's take a look. Yeah, up and in. And Harry Greer came out immediately. He is... Oh, I think he tossed him. No, he just warned both dugouts. That's what it is. He obviously didn't toss him, but he warned both dugouts immediately. Strike call at the knees. Oh, Harry Greer's been busy today. The 2-1. Strike on the inside. 2-2. Gets into that one, drives it down the left field line. That's going to get into the corner. Heiser motoring to second base. Second extra base hit of the day, a 2-run homer, and now a 2-out double. And Luke Camlin coming to the plate, and this is a big at-bat really in this game.
Multiple extra base hits in the ball game. UCF seeing the ball very well against USF pitching right now. Savarese with a man behind him, though 2 outs in the inning.
Now Dietrich out to have a word with Savarese. Savarese started out well, struck out Thomas and Gellinger. Then the innocent enough looking 2-out walk led to the 2-out home run by Ryan Crowell. Now a 2-out double by Heiser. So 3 straight nights have reached with 2 outs and nobody on. Outside for a ball.
4 extra base hits in the ball game, highlighted by the 2-run bomb by Cryle and the 2-run homer by Heiser.
Called strike, evens it up at 1-1. Comes in again with a strike. Started way out, caught the outside portion of the plate.
Beautiful breaking ball there by Savarese to the left-hander. 1 pitch from getting out of the inning. UCF's 1 hit from putting the 10-run rule into effect.
Fouled it straight back. Hamlin's been on 4 times. 3 walks and a hit. The bottom of the inning, it's going to be Stunkel, Borders, and Villar, 2, 3, and 4 in the order. One, two, nearly backdoored him. Reaches out, fouled it off, stayed alive. Two, sends it out to left field. Chatfield has it tracked down to end the inning. 2 more runs, couple of hits, no errors, and a runner left on base. 7th inning stretch time, and it's all UCF. They lead the Bulls 9-0 on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. because that's power. We are power.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
Bulls fans hoping their team can get anything going right now, as they've seen 17 straight Bulls retired by Chris Williams, who pitches with a 9-0 lead.
Williams has done a fantastic job. The last base runner for USF was Duke Stunkel, who drew a walk in the first inning. USF's offense on the year averages 6 runs scored per game. They've only been shut out once. That came against Stetson. So they've been very good at manufacturing runs here in year 3 under Coach Kingston. Struggling, though, today against their rival, the UCF Knights.
Stunkel, Borders, and Villar, and Stunkel the only Bull to reach with that walk in the first. He also grounded a short in the fourth. Popped it up in the left field. That's got a little carry, but not enough. Marsh waved his arms at first, thought he may have lost it, but he didn't. Just want to make sure Hamlin didn't run into him. 18 straight. There's a one away.
6 innings, 67 pitches. I can do that math. Williams, a very economical 11 pitches per inning on average. He has kept his count down. He has induced fly ball outs. He has kept USF guessing.
Good lesson for the kids. That first pitch strike we talked about earlier. Luke Borders over to a pop up to third and a ground out to short. High pop up. Middle infield. At short is Bozeman. 19 straight retired. David Villar lined out in the first to center and struck out in the fourth.
Chris Williams has thrown 2 pitches and gotten 2 outs in this inning. If I'm David Villar, I might let him throw one without swinging.
Strike call on the inside. Get another first pitch strike. But Villar did take. Wants to see a pitch. 17 of 21 first pitch strikes. Follows it with strike 2.
Williams threw 2 relief outings in the first series against USF this year. Already has 1 victory in the start a week ago, the 9-1 victory that the Knights had over the Bulls. Gunning for number 2 here, his team up 9-0.
1-2, fouled it out of play. Big deep breath by Chris Williams. Up high. That'll even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stays high again. Was ahead 0-2. Give credit to Villar. He's been taking pinches. He's worked it full. And he walked him, and that's going to stop a streak of 19 straight retired. Villar walks with 2 outs here in the 7th. That's just the second bull to reach, both via the walk. Duke Stunkel back in the 1st. Coco Montez is over 2. He's grounded out to short in the 2nd, again in the 5th.
How good has Williams been during that stretch? There's nobody in the pen for UCF, and I mean nobody for UCF in a jersey in their pen. Everybody's still in the dugout. He's been performing so well.
Fly ball to right field, a little bit of carry. This one is going to be off the wall. Here comes the runner at third. They'll hold him there, and that'll break up the no-hitter. So 6 2/3 of an inning of no-hit baseball for Williams. At one point sat down 19 in a row, and for the second time this week, UCF flirted with a no-no. Again, Pete McLaughlin, your 1973 hitter against Columbia, is still safe.
They'll bring the infield in. 2 USF Bulls in a row have gotten on base, a walk and then the double off the wall. Wynn might have carried that one a little bit on Putnam in right field.
Still doesn't take away from what he's done today. 1 hit, 2 walks. He has struck out 6, and at one point sat down 19 straight USF Bulls. So Robbie Howell and Chris Williams both flirted with him late into the ball game.
Back-to-back fantastic performances by both those men. Howell improved to 10-0 on the year, had 10 strikeouts in that contest, and then Williams might have actually been better. I mean, he's 19 in a row. That's a streak of futility that USF was praying would end.
And if you're going to set yourself up to battle back through the loser's bracket, you've got to have strong starting pitching. And Howell and Williams to set themselves up well tomorrow, if they have to play 2 games. If they are able to beat ECU in the first game, then have that bullpen.
6 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball for Williams, and he's only at 75 pitches.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Another first pitch strike. And now he'll just look to log his first complete game of the season.
But you think about it, as this one cruises by the bed of Chatfield, who does have a homer or 2 in this tournament. You can get out of this inning, get another inning out of him. He'd only be near 100 pitches.
Yeah. Swing and a miss, 0-2. And if he closes the door here, the way the Knights are scoring, they need a run in the 8th, and then him just to have a shutdown 8th to end the game early. Bulls trying to break that up as well. A base hit here would score 1, maybe 2 runs. So they got him stepping on and off as Chatfield gets out of the box. Now he's ready to go. Upstairs at 1-2. Couldn't get him to chase the high fastball. Swing and a miss, struck him out, 7th strikeout of the game. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a pair left on base. We're going to the 8th. Still 9-0 Knights on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
Hanging out over the wall here in Clearwater. 9-0 UCF. As Chris Williams throwing the one-hitter for UCF in the ball game. Just had the no-no broken up in the bottom half of the 7th on a 2-out double by Coco Montez. We've seen a lot of action on that bluff this week. A lot of home runs. Put up on that berm and the tiki hut and out to the right field wall all over the place. Only one game, Memphis and UConn, without a home run earlier today, but there were 3 triples in that one. Eli Putnam to lead things off. Again, they've got to hold the Knights at bay here. The Knights score it all. In the bottom of the 8th could be it. And they've got the bottom of the order, Montgomery, Dietrich, and Zekdu up. Here is pitch. First pitch on the way to Putnam is going to be outside for a ball. They do have Chatfield deep and left. So going needing to hold the Knights scoreless. Swing and a foul ball, 1-1.
New pitcher in the ball game, wearing number 30, is Michael Farley. Farley, who normally wears 22, has switched jerseys with Mark Savarese for this game, one to honor their father. So, Michael Farley, the senior out of Valrico, Florida, the new pitcher in the game for the Bulls.
1-1 breaking ball, call it strike.
Farley on the year has made 16 appearances, all in relief. He's 0-2 with a 4.6 ERA.
Down and away, evens it up at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got good size out there, 6'3", 196 pounds. 4-year player for USF, 25 in the 3rd innings pitched this year. He's given up 20 hits, 15 runs, 13 were earned, and struck out 33. Against Farley, opponents hitting just .213.
Just down and out. Popped him up behind home plate. Dietrich can't find it. Farley does, and now gives away in and out of the glove of Villar.
Popped out of the glove of David Villar. Coach told me a long time ago, only guy allowed to make a basket catch is Willie Mays, and you ain't him. Again, sometimes running up on a ball like that, that's really the only way you've got a shot to make it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for Villar that time.
And to Villar's defense, I think he picked it up late out of the sun. Sun setting behind the third base grandstands here at Spectrum Field. Comes back, gets him swinging. One away, and Brennan Bozeman is 1 for 4. Drove in some runs at the 6th with a single.
Breaking ball. Can't get a piece of that one.
Strike called on the outside of the right-hander. 260, a home run at 21 driven in. Ground ball. Diving play, Villar. To first in time, 2 outs.
That's the way to do it.
Nice job on the stretch. Comes back after bobbling that pop-up and batter earlier. Comes back with a tremendous play to his left. Cal Marsh is 0 for 3. He's been on twice. He's walked. He's reached on an error. Marsh popped it out of play, back to the right. Again, Montgomery, Diedrich, Zeck, 7, 8, and 9 due up in the bottom of the inning. Well, here's where they got in trouble an inning ago after striking out Thomas and Gallagher. Micah, Crowell, Heiser all reached. So Farley trying to shut the door here with nobody on and 2 down. Low and away. 2 and 2. Two in the dirt. Now 3-2 count. The 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. So Marsh reaches for Rylan Thomas, who's 1 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a single.
Michael Farley up there on the hill. Gives up the walk. He is one of 6 seniors that were honored in 2017 for the Bulls. And one of just 3, including Luke and Levi Borders, that were there all 4 years. Levi, a redshirt senior, 5 years in Tampa.
Ball outside, 1-0. They'll want to get Thomas out. They've got the dangerous Cam Gallagher on deck with 3 hits today. Ducked out of the way, but it breaks back in for the called strike.
That group of seniors got USF back to the postseason in 2015 when 4 teams from the conference made it. They'll be back in the postseason, and depending on how they finish, maybe a #1 seed somewhere, maybe hosting.
1-1 grounded to short. Merrill flip to Montez to end the inning. No runs, no hits. There and 1 left on. Bottom of the 8th. 9-0 UCF.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
American Conference Championships again here in Clearwater, Florida. And we appreciate you joining us here on the American Digital Network. We, as always, bring you the majority of whether it was pool play the first year, the double elimination tournament. And glad to have you here. And all of our viewers, wherever you are able to watch it at home on the computer, on the laptop, whatever mobile device.
And lots of secondary, stuff to look at online, social media. All these great interviews, better than ever.
So many wireless devices. Let's try not to name them all. It's amazing the modern technology. You can just take your phone to the beach and watch the ball game.
Oh, you got to like that.
0-1 here on Montgomery. 0 for 2, a pop-up and a ground out. Up and in, evens it up at 1-1. Just the 81st pitch now for Chris Williams. Had 2 in scoring position before he struck out Chatfield an inning ago. That's the only trouble he's been in, and that one caught Harry Greer. So Heiser does the nice thing, walks out and talks to Williams. They'll get a bit of a smile on that. Harry looks like he's okay. One, two, and a fly ball to left center field. Hamlin back, and there's one out. Tyler Diedrich, the catcher's over 2, a strikeout and a fly out. Breaking ball just got up under it. Williams' pitch will just miss.
Jeff, I'm just now realizing this, but USF staff did some extensive conference tournament notes in USF history, and whether it was the Sun Belt, the Metro, Conference USA, the Big East, or now the American. In 40 years, UCF and USF have never met in the postseason in a conference tournament.
Second hit of the game, a base hit in left field for Diedrich. So Darren Newland's one-hitter against Belmont, the last one-hitter in 2004. That's amazing, as many conferences they have shared, they have never met.
You go back in the early days, though, the 80s and 90s, when they would take, a regional with 6 teams.
Right.
I would assume whether it was Jacksonville or Gainesville, they probably matched up in an NCAA tournament a time or two. Both teams headed for the postseason this year.
Garrett Zeck has struck out twice. 2 of the 7 strikeouts today for Chris Williams. They get in good shape. They're going to let him pitch it out unless something got really dicey. As you mentioned earlier, nobody in the bullpen. That's just the 87th pitch. Swing and a tip into the mid, 1-2 on Zach. Just missed on the outside. Big 12-6 breaking ball there. Two fouled off the 90th pitch of the game. The Knights will have Gellinger, Micah, and Cryle due up in the top half of the ninth. Big 7-run inning in the 6th. Blue open the shutout. They added 2 in the 7th. Ground ball to short. Gonna have to be quick for 2. They'll only get the 1. So Bozeman forces out Diedrich at second. Zach will reach on a fielder's choice, 2 outs. Pinch hitter. So Sorelli will pinch hit. Sorelli out of Tampa, Florida, and playing high school at freshman. .250 hitter, no homers, and 3 driven in. Down 0-1 quickly in the count. So Zach ends the day, or rather Merrill ends the day 0 for 3. Oh, and 2 to Nick Sorelli. See if he stays in it short, listed as an infielder. Stays alive with a foul ball. Pitch out that time, lifted way high. So barring a major comeback, your semifinals are going to be Houston, UConn, and ECU and UCF.
Couple of top seeds and the final seed, ECU, the 8.
Be interested to see how the back half of that bracket comes out with ECU and UCF. UCF coming back through the losers bracket, but the 2 strong pitching performances by Hal and Williams sets them up really nice for the bullpen tomorrow, especially if they force that second game. And a good one, rematch of the championship game and a 1-run game that we saw yesterday. Houston and UConn starts things off at 10 Eastern, 9 Central tomorrow. And ECU waits for the winner of this game at 1 Eastern, noon Central. Then a potential of a pair of extra elimination games, 1 and 2. It's high at 2 and 2.
Williams just a strike away from getting out of the inning. He is approaching 100 pitches on the start.
The 2-2 rolls it foul on the on-deck circle.
This is just the 5th time in 130 meetings that USF and UCF have met in the postseason. They had 4 meetings in the NCAAs. Started in '93. UCF ended the Bulls season in Tallahassee 4-3. In the postseason, they're knotted up at 2 wins apiece.
2-2 pops it up in the right field. A little bit of carry. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, as Putnam able to track this one down to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a runner left on. On to the 9th we go. 9-0 UCF on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
Well, headed back to the grandstand after playing out on the berm in right field. UCF fans having some fun today. They watching their team run away with this one up 9-0 over USF. So it looks like the Knights headed to the semifinals tomorrow. It'll be Andrew Perez coming in for the USF Bulls, getting an inning of work before they get ready for NCAA tournament action next week.
Turns out the number 14 jersey that he's wearing, they had a couple of issues. So we've gone with a different jersey number. And then, of course, 47 over at first base. So a couple of changes for USF in the lineup. Perez, 23 appearances on the year, all in relief. He's got 6 saves, so a good opportunity for him to show his wares. 6-2 on the year with a 1.89 ERA.
So Gallagher leads it off. He's got 3 hits. So a 1-0 count.
USF replaces Duke Stunkel Jr. at first base with Anthony Ganella. Ganella, a 6'4", 225-pound freshman out of Riverview. The number 16 jersey they made for him didn't fit, so he put on 47. Chance for a freshman to get some experience in a game like this in the postseason. Just the 17th game he's appeared in all year. Has 4 starts. And he was standing on deck ready to come in should USF have advanced one more batter in the last frame.
One, 2 on Gallagher. Hits his first 3 at-bats, singles in the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th before striking out in the 7th inning. Two count. Inside, that hit him on the arm. And Harry Guerrero's going to tell him to come back. Not going to give him that free base.
Would have been just the second hit batter all year on Perez. Let's take a closer look. I guess he didn't make enough effort to get out of the way. I'm happy to award him first base on a pitch like that. He wore it. Not like he dove down into it.
2-2. That time he draws the walk. He'll get the free pass either way. Matthew Micah is 1 for 2. He's been hit, line to left, 2-run double, and a walk.
Perez, the pitcher for USF, 6'2", 206 pounds. He's a sophomore out of Orlando. Last year had a win and a save for the Bulls.
Takes a strike on the inside, down 0-1. So it looks like Goodell, Borders, and Villar do up in the 9th inning for the Bulls. That one down and in, nearly caught him.
Again, this is just the 5th postseason meeting all time between these two rivals in 130 games. The last time they met in the postseason, 2002, in Tallahassee. UCF won the opener in the regional, won 6-1 over the Bulls, and then USF got the last laugh and sent them home 7-2. So 15 years have passed since they saw each other past the regular season.
Chopper foul over the Bulls dugout. One, two will miss down and in. Ground ball through the left side. First and second for UCF here in the 9th.
Matthew Micah came into the ballgame just 1 for 9 in tournament play. He's had a nice day. 2 RBI double. He's walked, and now a single here in the 9th inning through the left side.
Austin Griffin is going to hit for the Knights, a senior infielder. First pitch to Griffin is down and in. Griffin this year, 19th game of the season. He's looking for his first hit, 0 for 15. He scored 3 runs this year. 7 walks and 8 strikeouts.
A senior out of Fort Worth, Texas.
One 0, that'll miss. 2-0. Inside.
I knew I remembered that name. He's a junior college transfer, but last year he started 51 games for the Knights, 41 of them at first base. Had 9 multi-hit games.
Strike delivered, taking all the way. 3-1, a hitter's count to Griffin.
Griffin spent his first 2 seasons at Northeast Texas Community College in Mount Pleasant, Texas. In his final season with UCF.
Fouled it off. One hopped it off of his teammate's dugout.
Double-digit home runs last year. 10 homers, 41 RBIs. Hit .250 on the campaign.
3-2 full count. Gellinger at second, Micah at first. Inside and he walks down the base loaded. A walk, a single, and a walk. Max Wood, the junior outfielder, is going to pinch hit for Heiser. Wood 3 for 23 this year. Has driven in 3 runs. Pair of walks. He struck out 9 times. Fouled back into the right. UCF, for the first time, has someone in the bullpen. Up and out to Wood.
Well, I think the matchup's pretty compelling one between ECU and Central Florida in the semifinals tomorrow. During the regular season, East Carolina got swept, and it wasn't really close. And then they took out some frustration in the opener against UCF, beat them 14-3.
1-1 swing and a miss. I'm going to say that should be some motivation for the Knights to come back after taking the chin on the opening day on Tuesday at 14-3. I'd imagine they'll be ready to kind of roar back tomorrow. Offense flexing its muscle today with 9 runs and 11 hits.
You'd think maybe you'd see the 10-game winner, Joseph Sheridan, 10-4 on the year. You could also see Juan Pimentel, who had kind of a 2-3 inning relief outing. He's got 12 starts on the year and is 6-5.
Of course, Cliff Godwin should be set up well. They don't have to throw 2 days and yet another day off. Up and in, and he hit him. That brings a run in. Bryce Peterson is going to hit. Third straight pinch hitter, and that may do it. Some soft tossing going on in the bullpen. A walk, single walk, and a hit batter. 3 freebies allowed here. And a 10-0 lead for the UCF Bulls. Yeah, first 4 reach.
USF has given up 10 runs just once in the last 8 years in conference tournament play. They got swept by Rutgers and run ruled in the 2014 tournament here in Clearwater, 10-0 in 7 innings.
First pitch will be a strike on the outer half. Oh, 1 swing and a miss. Blew it past him. 0-2 now on Bryce Peterson. To delivery. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. First out of the inning. Eli Putnam will hit for himself. Putnam 0 for 4, but he was hit by a pitch back in the 6th and scored a run. When they blew this game wide open with a 7-run 6th inning.
13th time this year that UCF has hit double digits in scoring. It'll be the 4th time in American Conference play.
Starts him up and out for the ball, 1-0. Oh, he's looking for a double play here just to get out of this inning and limit any further damage. Strike taken. Evens it up at 1-1.
It is going to be tough for the media to determine the all-tournament team this year because you've got guys from every single team, even guys from Cincinnati, other teams that aren't here, Tulane that had exceptional performances. You're just not going to have enough spots to reward everybody.
Wild pitch gets away, run comes in. It's 11-0 UCF. Like you mentioned, a couple of 1 and 2 teams. Take a look at Chris Carrier from Memphis, ended his career on a 20-game hit streak. He came in today top 3 in almost every offensive statistical category.
How about Jace Mercer from Cincinnati? Guy had 6 RBIs in a single game. Did everything he could to try and advance his program. You take a look at the 2 pitching performances by UCF starters, Williams, Howell. I mean, both those guys, how many spots are going to be available?
Dude, like the big leagues, it's expansion time. Ground ball to short. Long to the first in time as another run will come in. 12-0 UCF. There's 2 away in the inning. Here is Bozeman. Bozeman today, 1 for 5, 2-run single in the 6th. Had a hit taken away by Villar an inning ago in that diving play. One-0 pitch. Strike call. Thing is, we've got anywhere from 2 to 4 games tomorrow where a lot of big hits, big pitches, big plays could be made.
You're right.
Off speed in.
USF has given up 12 runs in a conference tournament since the first time since 2008 when Cincinnati beat them 13-2. It's not the most runs given up ever, though. Tulane in 2001 beat USF 21-4 to end the bowl season.
2-1 will miss inside.
Credit everything that UCF has done today because they have pulled the trigger. And everything's gone right for them. I mean, they just got exceptional starting pitching, put the bat on the ball, hit for power, hit for average. 12 runs on 11 hits. I don't think they're done.
3-1 fouled off. It doesn't look like that's the way it was going to be at first. First 5 innings, Williams and Straczynski going back and forth. Now, we knew Straczynski's count was elevated a little bit. So you figured UCF might be the first team to break through. But I don't think anyone saw a 7-run inning as the breakthrough. Maybe a run to break up the scoreless tie.
Oh, you got to love it. 2 grown men fighting for a ball.
It'll be on eBay later. 3-2.
That's a good point. Those first 5 innings were scoreless on both sides. And then a crooked number on the board. 7 runs in the 6th for UCF. 2 more in the 7th, and then 3 here in the 9th.
And once they made it 5-0 that inning, the way that Chris Williams was pitching, you just kind of had the gut feeling that they weren't going to be able to come back the way Chris Williams was going. Then they added the 2. They added 2 more that inning, 2 more in the 7th.
This has been such a long inning for him to sit in the dugout. They do have an arm up in the pen for UCF.
Popped it up. Chatfield makes the catch. That'll end the inning, but they will end up 3 more runs in the inning on the American Digital Network.
We are American. The Conference of Opportunity.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
(12-0) UCF. Needing the last 3 outs. So the day is done for Chris Williams. Stands to go to 5-3 on the year. 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts today for Williams as he took the no-hitter deep into the ball game. It was broken up with 2 outs in the 7th with a double by Montez. They would get their second hit by Dietrich in the 8th inning, and that's the first 2-hitter for a UCF pitcher since Tim Bascom 2-hit East Carolina April 7th back in 2006. So just an outstanding performance, and now Chris Williams, as Garrett was talking about in the top of the inning. Well, UCF's got a good chance maybe to have 2 pitchers on the all-tournament team. We got to see how these next, at least anywhere from 3 to 5 games play out over the next 2 days.
New pitcher in the game, Andrew Roloff, a 6'1" junior out of Coconut Creek, Florida, 195 pounds. Roloff on the year making his 8th appearance, all of them in relief, no record, 5.6 ERA. He's thrown just 6 1/3 innings all year, given up 6 hits, 4 runs, both earned. He's allowed 2 walks and struck out 8. Opponents are hitting .240 against him.
And Ganella will lead it off. Scheduled for Ganella and Borders in Villar. Ganella this season, again, he just came in, 130 hitter, 3 for 23, no homers. Couple runs batted in, 5 walks and 8 strikeouts. Left-hander stands in. Roll off the right-hander. Boy, he's got a quick motion once he starts. One-0 comes set. Boy, it's like a spring. Comes set, and it's like pulling the rubber band back. Slowly pull it back and let it fly. Behind the count, though, 2-0 to Ganella. And behind 3-0 now. Don't forget, stick around for the post game. We will talk to like Greg Lovelady. I imagine we'll be hearing from Chris Williams at the post game show. Ryan will have those guys down on the field. 3-0 upstairs. He walked him.
That'll put Ganella on base. Cam Crabb will come to the plate, another pinch hitter. Crabb on the year, 1 hit and 11 at-bats, batting .091. This is just the 14th game he's appeared in. No starts.
So Ganella at first, Crabb at the plate. Andres Leal on deck.
His only hit is a home run.
Harry Greer's going to call someone out of the dugout to come check on Roloff. Or at least Harry Greer's going to check something. He was pointing over to the UCF dugout. I think he just want to make sure he's okay. I'm not sure if Harry saw something that concerned him, whatever it was. He didn't check his hat or his glove or anything.
I didn't see him tuck a necklace back into his jersey. I mean, the sun's not shining off any jewelry.
Here is the pitch. Strike call on the outside, 0-1. They'll give Ganella all the lead he wants. with a 12-0 lead. They're worried about the batter here. 1-1.
Crabb, a 6'1 junior, 190 pounds, out of White Plains, New York. He transferred in out of Monroe Community College in his first year with USF.
One delivery. Strike caught on the inside. One-two delivery now from Roloff, and will miss.
Andres Leal on deck to pinch hit for USF.
Two pitch upstairs. Now 3-2.
Roloff hits 93 on that offering.
Well, he got behind Ganella, ended up losing, but he got ahead of Crabb. All of a sudden, Crabb's worked it back to a full count at 3-2. Ground ball to short, maybe two. Flips to second over to first in time with the 6-4-3 double play. 41st double play of the year for UCF, 43rd that the Bulls have hit into.
Jeff, over the last week, this is the stat line for Chris Williams against USF. 15 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, just 5 hits, no runs scored. It'll be 2 victories for Chris Williams over the Bulls in 7 days' time.
I would say next year when they play just the 3 games, they'll see a lot of Chris Williams will definitely be in the rotation. He's a Tuesday guy. Well, we'll put him on the weekends. Bulls down to the last out.
That'll bring up the red shirt junior, Andres Leal, 5'6", 185. Went to Tampa Catholic here locally.
Well, no disappointing way for USF to end the conference tournament, but they're still going to be 41-17. They'll be waiting around for the NCAA next week. Chance maybe to host, but definitely they are going to play in the NCAA somewhere. Doesn't hurt the sting of this loss today, but things will be happy either Sunday or Monday when they find out who they're going to be playing.
And the selection committee is going to know what they're looking at. A team that's gone on the road and beaten Florida State in Tallahassee. A team that went on the road and beat the Florida Gators, who will be a national seed in Gainesville. USF finished tied with the second best record, 15-10 in American Conference play, and they have the most wins in the conference currently. UCF fans will start coming to their feet here as Leal behind 1-2.
They're a strike away from win number 40 on the year. 1-2, slider down and in.
Leal, a .257 hitter on the year. He's played in 41 games, 26 hits and 101 at bats. He does have 12 RBIs and 8 doubles.
2-2. Just stayed alive with a foul ball. So again, should be a very strong field for the American. And let's just kind of play conservative, a little devil's advocate. If you don't get a host site, I still think you've got 3 number 2 seeds. UConn probably a 3 seed somewhere.
Like to see 4 teams get in for the conference.
Swing and a miss. That'll end it. He'll tag him out, and the Knights stay alive as they eliminate their I-4 rival, the USF Bulls. They'll move on to the semifinals tomorrow. Well, they'll face an East Carolina team that is playing really well in this tournament.
USF shut out for just the second time this season, and UCF hangs the worst postseason shutout in USF history on them. What an incredible performance by the Knights. 12 runs, 11 hits, no errors. USF manages just 2 hits. We'll be back with postseason wrap-up after this.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
Access to traditional prosthetics for kids is challenging. At Luminous, my goal is really to give them a chance to chase their dreams and to instill confidence so that they can go after whatever they want.
De ver o sonho meu, do meu filho, sendo realizado. Isso não tem preço.
The labs at UCF were so instrumental. I couldn't be in a better place. This is where I call my home.
The University of South Florida is a regional powerhouse with global significance, leading advances that are changing the world. Now a leader among the nation's universities in research, healthcare, and just being cool. The place where young men and women train to become the best.
This is where the Bulls run.
We are American. The conference of opportunity. The opportunity to chase dreams. The opportunity to make your mark and change the game. Because that's power. We are power.
UCF is alive. They move on to the semifinals. Look at a rematch with East Carolina that, pulled up the big upset on day number one, the 8-1 upset. 12 runs were scored by the UCF Knights. With the story of the game, Chris Williams, he stands by with Kyle.
Well, Coach, no superfluous adjectives, no build-up needed for this one. In-state rivalry, winner go home, and your team comes on and puts on a performance like this. How do you put the feeling right now into words?
Yeah, I'm just really proud of Chris Williams. I mean, again, you talk about if we're going to make a run at this thing, we got to save as much arms as we possibly can for him to come out. I mean, you're talking about probably the best offense in our league, and they just did an unbelievable job or Chris did an unbelievable job of just being able to maintain them. Being able to execute pitches, get weak contact, a bunch of strikeouts, and just really proud of him. We needed it, Robbie and now Chris. I mean, just giving us great starts to try to save as many arms as we possibly can for the run at the weekend. I'm really proud of him. We needed it, and like I said, and then offensively, I thought the first 5-6 innings, man, we had some opportunities. We just couldn't get the hit when we needed to. Swung at some bad pitches, weren't able to take advantage of the opportunities. But then obviously, finally, we wore him out and finally got to him, and were able to really put a bunch of runs late in the game when it didn't matter. But, just proud of the guys for continuing to just, push and push and push. And, kept jabbing, and just couldn't get the knockout punch till the 7th. But just proud of the offense. We had a great day, a lot of free bases, and finally we were able to take advantage of a lot of that stuff late.
So this now sets up a semifinal rematch with the ECU Pirates. What basically comes down to a 3-game series, and you already dropped the first one. What do the UCF Knights need to do to win 2 straight games?
Just be ourselves. Not change anything. Our biggest thing all year is today's the most important day of our season. We won't change anything going into tomorrow. Just go out there and try to win pitches, give great effort, and try to take advantage of opportunities that are there. So we'll just keep being us, keep doing the things that have gotten us to this point. We understand that we put ourselves in a situation to be in a regional now, and we just got to go out there and continue to get better. Utilize the game tomorrow as an opportunity to be a better team when it comes next weekend, and practice. We told ourselves that this 4-team bracket was going to be like a regional. And we made it to the regional championship. Go win 2 games, and you get to move on till Sunday. So we'll go try to win the first inning tomorrow and do what we can.
All right, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Very happy Greg Lovelady, and he should be, Garrett. He got great starting pitching. And as we mentioned, 2 great outings by their starters sets them up very well for tomorrow.
Might see Joseph Sheridan, a 10-win pitcher for UCF. I'm so impressed with what Chris Williams did today. Limits USF to just 2 hits in the ballgame. So impressive.
Let's go back down to Kyle.
And we are down with that man, redshirt sophomore Chris Williams. Let me try to see if I can set the stage here. A team that you beat in the last series of the season to take the regular season championship, in-state rival, war on I-4, winner-go-home situation. You come out and you pitch a gem like that. What did it mean to you to have the ball in your hands today?
I mean, it felt really great. Just like you said last week, we played them last week in sort of a similar situation where we needed to win that game to win our conference. And so we went out there. I knew we needed a good start and just went out there, did our thing.
Your defense picked you up as well, and the offense came through in the sixth right there to kind of break this game open. Talk about just the team effort, just besides yourself.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, our whole defense back there, I love to use them. Just pitch contact guy and just go out there, let them make the plays, and just do. It's like that.
And now that sets up basically what amounts to a 3-game series against ECU. You swept them during the regular season, kind of took one on the chin in game one. How does UCF come and win 2 games and make it to a final?
We just got to go out there. Last time we played them, we didn't show it with the runs, but we were putting together really good at bats, hitting the ball real hard. Just they weren't falling, but we're going to go out there, hit the ball again. We'll be good. I think we'll be good.
Well, all right. Congratulations. Great job. Rest up. We'll see you out here tomorrow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
40 wins now for the UCF Knights after a win today. Of course, USF with 41 wins. They'll wait for the selection committee, but 2 very solid teams today despite the score.
UCF with 20 runs on 21 hits the last 2 games, and they haven't committed an error in the last 18 innings. Very clean play in the field, and the offense has been red hot.
Semi-set for tomorrow, 10 Eastern, Houston and UConn, followed by ECU and UCF at approximately 1 o'clock. That'll wrap things up from Clearwater. For our production staff behind the scenes with the American Digital Network, my broadcast partner, Garrett Wolford, I'm Jeff Brightwell. Thanks for joining us here on a Friday on the American Digital Network.